Welcome back. It's Janelle from Infinite Potential Healing, and today I have the astrological outlook for the week ahead, the week of April 19th to the 26th. So on the 20th of April, we have the sun finally moving into Taurus. Yay, we have an earth sign. This is going to bring in stability. Stability with an exclamation point after all of the fucking fire we've had for so much of April. Just like the entire month. No big deal. We also have Mercury conjunct both Saturn and Mars today, which means Mercury is hanging out super close to Saturn and super close to Mars, kind of amplifying all three energies. So that's going to give us really good ability to problem solve on the 20th. Basically, for the following 4 weeks, for the time that the sun is in Taurus, this is going to bring you opportunities to secure the projects that you initiated and may have started working on under all of this Aries energy that we've had so far in April. If the 20th itself is a really busy day, which it's likely to be, make sure you find ways to ground yourself. The best and easiest ways to ground yourself are always by interacting with Mother Earth. So, if you can get your feet either on bare feet on the floor, better yet, if the weather is warm enough where you are to put your feet in the dirt, in the sand, on the grass, on the soil, even on the concrete, and just take a couple breaths there. It's a really good way to ground. You can also work with grounding crystals and grounding stones. You can bring the earth elements into your space by bringing flowers and crystals and things into your space. But whatever you do, make sure that you really focus on grounding yourself and staying grounded on the 20th, and make sure you have a grounding practice in place to really move you through and support you through all of Taurus season. On the 20th and the 21st, our moon is in Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon, so our moon loves to be in Cancer, but it's also a time that we can kind of end up getting lost or being all up in our feels. This is going to be a couple of days that are sociable, that are cheerful. We could also tend to get lost in our daydreams on these couple of days, because with all of that fluid, watery, emotional Cancer energy that we have, it feels really good to daydream. So again, you want to go back to that grounding energy and make sure you're not getting stuck or lost there. Work could actually pile up on Wednesday, leading to mental and emotional exhaustion if we don't make sure that we are staying grounded, kind of leaving our daydreams only for very specific and finite amounts of time, and really buckling down and focusing on those things that we need to do and those things that we need to get done. On the 24th, we have Venus moving into Gemini until May 18th of this year. This is also a really important transit because we have another one of our planets moving out of Aries into, in this case, out of Taurus, into Gemini. So we've got kind of our big heavy hitter personal planets moving and grooving this particular week. So Venus moving into Gemini, and then we also have Venus making a conjunction, meaning it's hanging out with Uranus, really close, amplifying those energies. So you may actually find that you are surprised by some developments on the 24th. But that's not to say that it's going to be a negative surprise. Usually when we have Venus at play, it's going to be a positive surprise. It's going to be a surprise that feels good to us. It's going to be a surprise about something that we love and something that we value that's going to feel very, very good to us. So be very prepared on the 24th. You're going to need to be a little bit outgoing with Venus moving into Gemini and Venus making that conjunction to Uranus. If you are prepared to be outgoing, then you're going to very much enjoy socializing on the 24th. So really good day to connect with other people, to reach out to other people, and to really kind of get that communication flowing again, especially with those people that you love, that you care for, that you value. On the 25th, huge transit we have going on because we have Uranus moving into Gemini. So we also have Mercury squaring Jupiter on the 25th and Venus making a supportive sextile to Neptune. With Uranus moving into Gemini, this really puts the impetus on creativity, on freedom, on communication. Mercury squaring Jupiter, you definitely want to avoid arguments because they will absolutely escalate today on the 25th rather, they on that day I should say, they will escalate. There will be no de-escalating them because that square again is Mercury over here forming that 90-degree angle to Jupiter, kind of nudging Jupiter, saying, hey, I want to focus on communication, I want to focus on my intellect, I want to focus on how I'm thinking. And we've got Jupiter over here going, I want to focus on expanding. And if those two things aren't lining up, that harsh aspect of that 90 degrees is an aspect where Jupiter will expand arguments, disagreements, and there can be very easy escalations there. With Venus forming the sextile to Neptune, that has a very romantic, a very art-filled type of energy. So do something nice for yourself today. Really check in with yourself and see how you feel about your dreams, how you feel about your creativity. What do you value about your dreams within your dreams? What do you value about your creativity? And again, because we just had Venus moving into Gemini, very expansive dual energy. So Venus wants us to focus on those Neptunian themes, but Venus wants to focus on kind of the more. So more creativity, more art, more romance, more dreams, more daydreams. Uranus has actually been in Taurus since May of 2018. That is why it is such a big change that Uranus is moving into Gemini. With this particular transit, because Uranus in Taurus is a fixed energy, it's a stable energy. So yes, obviously with Uranus being, our planet of rebellion, our shock master, our change maker, we had all of that going on in Taurus and with Taurus themes, but there was an underlying calmness, an underlying stability to a lot of those changes that happened with Uranus in Taurus. Now that Uranus is in Gemini, we've got it's a dual energy, and it's a dual air sign energy. So there's a lot more unpredictability to that than there is to a fixed earth sign. So we may find that some of the shocks, some of the changes, some of the surprises kind of come with a 1-2 punch with that duality of Gemini. So just to prepare yourself for that, because this is not going to be a one-day transit. Uranus is going to be hanging out in Gemini for a hot minute. Again, it was in Taurus all the way from May of 2018 until the 25th of April of 2026 when it moved out of Taurus into Gemini. So really big change, really exciting transit. And it's going to be exciting even on a global scale to kind of see, now that we have a little more freedom with this dual air sign, what changes, what rebellion, what shocks, what surprises do we have that are going to come up, in social climates and political climates, in our personal lives. It's just a really exciting shift, and it's a shift that has a lot of potential, a lot of interesting potential. So kind of all of these transits together give us an energy where the universe is telling us that it is time for you to put the real you, the complete authentic version of you, the 100% real version of you out there for the world to see. Your tribe needs to find you. Your tribe wants to find you. And it may very well be that this is the time, this is the season for your tribe to change, to grow, to expand. But unless you put your whole authentic self out there, the real you, how is your tribe going to find you? And how are they going to know that they are a match to your energetic vibration? So get real with yourself, but stop holding yourself back. Put yourself out there in a big, bold way. Take a chance, make a change. We don't have to be risky about it. We can make calculated changes, but definitely be willing to put yourself out there, because it is time to show the world who you are in the biggest, boldest, baddest way. So enjoy the energy this week, and I will see you on the other side.